listeners, to another episode of The Mindful Journey where we explore the inner landscapes that shape our outer lives. I'm your host Sana, and today's conversation is all about how long distance running, yes, the grueling, the sweaty, mile after mile kind, might just be the ultimate life training program. And listeners, let me introduce my incredible guest to all of you. He is the founder of EYMcoaching.com, a passionate endurance coach whose own transformation took him from late night parties and empty routines to marathon start lines and triathlon finishes. And his story isn't just about getting faster or fitter, it is about rewiring the heart, mind, and body for peak performance in life. So, we are going to dive into how marathon style running and training can tune your cardiovascular, metabolic, and even cognitive systems to operate at their best, and how that translates to a healthier, more purposeful life. So, whether you have never run a mile like me, or you're training for your fifth marathon, I promise this is going to spark something in you. So, listeners, meet my guest, Victor Vizcaino. So, Victor, welcome to the show, and I'm really, really excited for our conversation.
Thank you. I'm excited as well. Thank you for having me, Sam. It's a pleasure to be here and forward to our conversation.
Absolutely, Victor. Um, yeah, I mean, your journey uh, that's it's like a 180-degree transformation. Um, Running completely redirected your life. And I can vouch for that, but at a small scale because, as we were discussing before starting the show, that I am trying to slowly incorporate, create a habit where I wouldn't feel if I have lived the entire day without doing any kind of, cardio exercise, especially it's running or it's jogging or it's jumping jacks or it's skipping. So when I do that, even for 5 minutes, I feel so much refreshed. I feel a different level of energy, and it really gives me a clarity, if I say from a mindset point of view. So, Victor, what was the moment you realized that this was more than just exercise, it was a transformation?
Oh, thank you. Great question, Sarah. Sana. I think the moment where it really started to embed in me that this is a transformation, a chance to make it a lifestyle, I think was when my sister asked me if I wanted to join her for a marathon and training for that. And when I first thought about it, I just thought, okay, I don't like running, but I wanted to show her that I could run a marathon too, because she was already running a couple marathons. Saying, you know what, I can do it too. And it was a lot more difficult than I thought. But as I was training for it, because it was like a 6 month program to train for a full marathon, and I started to notice a lot of changes, not just in my health, like you said earlier. I started to see those changes where I'm healthier. My body runs a lot more efficient. My cardiovascular systems feels really good, and my thinking is more clear. And I was just experiencing so many healthy things that was when the light came in. It's like, well, this is I want to do this again. Once I crossed the finish
Yeah.
line of the first marathon, it's like I want to do this again. And I signed up for the next year's marathon and just started to make it a regular thing.
Hmm. That's a good addiction. I mean, we often, I mean, there's a negative connotation to addiction, but I believe this is such a healthy addiction. Um, and Yeah, you are absolutely right.
Yeah, I agree with that because I think that we can get addicted to so many, many, many things, but there's just some things are stronger and more negative, and then there's things that we can get on the other side that are healthier, like running. And of course, we can always take it to a level that it's not healthy, but with good boundaries that we can set, we can make it continually make it a healthy thing. Just like we can get addicted to our negative thoughts or addicted to worrying about certain things. Mm, but if you can hook up with the same thoughts or more like cross train yourself with the training and running and also your mental thoughts at the same time, then I think make progress both making those progressions in a holistic way. Because I think
Hmm.
that's what really happened. My habits before where I like drinking, I like partying. Now I'm starting to say, oh, I can, if I eat better, if I consume more healthy choices, my running gets better. And as my running gets better, I'm also more attracted to eating better. And I'm
Yeah.
also attracted to healthier thoughts. Like you said earlier, that it gave you clarity in your mind. I think it's the same thing. You start to feel all these benefits and sort of it kind of snowballs into, oh, let's think a little healthier, let's eat a little better. And I think with everything that we make progress, there are some times where we hit a wall, figuratively speaking, metaphorically, the wall that we hit in the marathon. It's also in life, it it doesn't always feel like just continuing progress and everything's nice and rosy. You still hit certain times where we become discouraged or we want other higher um, goals to meet and we can discourage. But if we continue to trust the process, it's like, hey, let's um, let's continue to have some healthier thoughts even when those problems come or other uh, problems that may occur or having trouble with the business, for example, side of things. And if you can maintain that level of clarity that you experienced in earlier times, I think that you could easily see this other obstacle. It's like, hey, I am going to see beyond it and make those practices that have already worked for me and incorporate them to overcome these new obstacles. And I think that that's the way we make progress by riding the lows, but not. I heard somebody say the other day the difference between discouraged and like going through a little bit of discouragement versus staying in that discouragement where you want to quit. And it's like, there's a big difference there. And if we can notice that, it's like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit discouraged, but I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep putting step forward and trust that it's going to be better if I continue to make those progress. Yeah. So the key when doing either endurance and incorporating life's philosophies is to not give up. Uh,
Totally.
and accept that we lose family members or a family member goes through a diagnosis or something like that, and it's like, hey, just this is part of life, and allow yourself to feel that pain, but know that it's not forever, or that you're not going to stay there, um, that it's temporary, and time is going to heal to keep making those progress. And remember that you made progress when you did all these things, so continue to do them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very well said, Victor. So, um, you coach runners to see marathons as more than just a race. So, I'm really curious to know, Victor, how do you help people translate, training lessons like patience or pacing, recovery into their personal and professional lives?
Mm, I think that just knowing or becoming aware, being present, and like you mentioned earlier, the show itself, it's about being intentional, being
Mhm.
yeah, present and doing everything with intentionality so that you become aware that the things that work in the marathon area also work in the other parts of your life in a similar fashion that mm, a lot of the problems that are in our lives, whether it's physical or with our physical bodies or problems with other things in our careers and professional or in our lives, that we can easily make them worse with our thoughts of worry to the future of what's going to happen tomorrow, but that it's not real in the moment, that you can still experience the moment right there and then. When we go out on a run, then you can just really focus. I love to count my steps and my
Mhm.
breathing. And if I just focus on that there's nothing else going on, I'm not
Mhm.
thinking about the problems I have. I'm just thinking about the moment, each my posture, things just on the run. And I think by the same token, if we have professional and relationship or whatever it is that you're having issues with, then if you
Mhm.
take I'm just going to focus on what I can control at the moment. Maybe it's, if you need to apologize to somebody, then you know what? That's the next step I'm going to take to fix a relationship is I'm just, what I can control right now is I need to go and apologize to this person and have a conversation and one step, one thing at a time, and not make it too far in the future where we're constantly living in what might happen and also not living in the past. Whereas, like, I wish I would have done this in the past. Those are, I think, I'm reminded of the quote from a philosopher that said, suffering is, pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. So that's very evident when we're running. Like you can experience the pain right there. But when you start worrying about the pain, worrying about what's going to happen, then you are inducing the suffering yourself. And I think we do that more in our relationships or in our professional lives because we can easily go either too far in the future or a combination of because what happened in the past, you're worried this is going to happen again in the future, and now you're not present. Mm, you are using the past and in a sort of negative way rather than just reflection. You're actually thinking that whatever happened in the past will continue to happen in the future if it's a negative thing. And that's where that quote, I think, becomes very handy that pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice.
That's a very, very powerful quote, Victor. Very powerful quote. Wow. This code itself, it gives so much. It gives that agency, that sovereignty within you. That yes, I still have, uh, my inside out in my control. Nobody or nothing is going to take a control of that from me. So I think it's a very powerful quote and very, very well put, Victor. And uh, I'll just bring a bit of uh, you know, a bit of a nuance into this, because we definitely have to explore both the sides of the coin. Now, some people, especially when it comes to endurance sport or marathon training, some people will hear this and say, I can get a healthy with a brisk walk or a few gym sessions. For example, if I consider myself as well, um, initially, I wouldn't consider marathon training. I would resort to, as I'm doing it right now, maybe, uh, 5 minutes or 15 minutes of, um, uh, brisk walking or skipping rope or something like that. Why would someone put through themselves through marathon training? I mean, what do you think they're missing about the or I'm missing about the deeper benefits here?
I think, and sometimes we have to just experience it to really know it. But what's missing is probably just a little bit more time with yourself, with maybe, and maybe it's not for everybody. But if you at least try it once, because I was on the other side. When my sister told me, let's train for a marathon, my first motivation was to prove to her that I could do it. But it didn't come from like, I really love running, because I didn't like running. And I did all other things that I thought were more fun. I would train for boxing. I was doing, I did scuba diving. I did a lot of
Oh,
other activities that I considered more fun than running. As like, okay, let's do this marathon and I'll prove to you that I can do it. But that's how I discovered, oh wow, this is it it it, it feels like it's a never ending improvement in the clarity of thinking. And having an event is huge to me. When I was doing a lot of these other things, it was, yes, I was enjoying the workout, it was doing them, but it was, for me in particular, it was easy to not do it. It was easier to not go to the gym, for example. It's like, okay, it's not a big deal if I don't go tomorrow. I got this other thing. And before I knew it, 3 or 4 days went by and I haven't gone back to the gym or to that other activity. But with marathon training, you're specifically getting yourself ready for a marathon. So it seems like it's harder to say, no, I'm not going to go do that long run tomorrow, because right away then you're thinking, yeah, but I want to do well on a marathon because I have a marathon coming up. There's a date and time that you're getting ready for. So it was easier for me to stay consistent because I want to do well on the marathon. And the way I put it to some people is like going to school and then you have that graduation. To me, it was kind of the same. You're going to the training, and the actual race of the marathon is sort of like the graduation party because you did all the work, and now the run is sort of a celebratory event. mm, That it seems weird to people who don't run a marathon. Oh well, that's and that's your idea of celebrating, is running 26 miles. And it's like, yeah, because I prepared, so it wasn't, I don't feel like it's a huge strenuous thing, because once you're ready, once you're prepared, you know that you're gonna enjoy it, and you're gonna do it with a bunch of other people who you connect with and everything. So I think that part is the part that a lot of people may not be missing, is that you are training for an event, and if you have that accountability and people to do it around with, then it makes it more of a lifestyle, where other people uh, start something and then they quit, and then they start something else and then they quit, and they don't find the consistency because, but they haven't tried it. They haven't tried it, so they don't. They're missing out, perhaps, to finding another passion that otherwise they wouldn't have discovered.
yeah, that absolutely makes sense, Victor. Absolutely makes sense. Lovely, lovely. So, Victor, finally, if our listeners they would like to connect with you and explore more about the work that you're doing at EYM Coaching, what would be the best way?
I think the best way is to go to eymcoaching.com, and they can either subscribe to my email so that they get emails, and I often send um, information on how to improve their running, but they can also sign up for a program. They can check out I have content on YouTube that they can explore too. But I think they can start there. They can start by going to my website, and under my name, they could probably find my other um, sources of media where they can find me.
Brilliant. I'll make sure to have all the links in the show notes for our listeners. And Victor, you know what? I mean, uh, you really helped us to understand that it isn't just about running. It is definitely about living on purpose. And with your journey, the transformation, Of course, with the love and support of your sister, I think we have definitely got to know how structured mileage, mindful recovery, and mental resilience it can rewire not just our bodies but the way we approach everything in life. So, thank you so much.
You are welcome, son. It's my pleasure, and I hope that next time we meet, you've run a little bit more.
Yeah, actually, yes, yes, yeah. I'm not gonna give a promise because I don't want to break that, but I'm definitely going to put in my full efforts to incorporate because this was something which I used to do. And for the fact that twice in a day, uh, a morning walk, then an evening running, and I used to love it. But I'll be very frank to admit that with everything happening around and some personal things, some personal matters, I'm guilty of not putting this at the front, at the top priority. So yeah, and this conversation is definitely a reminder for myself and an encouragement for myself. So thank you so much, Victor. And to all the listeners out there, it's time to lace up, not just for our bodies, but for the life we are building, because this life is a gift for all of us. Until then, this is Sana, and this has been the Mindful Journey. Keep taking your mindful journey one intentional step at a time. Thank you.